Question 5. Translate the following statements into chemical equations and then balance them. A is hydrogen gas combines with nitrogen to form ammonia. The answer will be, the reaction is H2 plus N2 is equal to NH3, and in order to balance it, you will have to write 3H2 plus N2 is equal to 2NH3. B is hydrogen sulfide gas burns in air to give water and sulfur dioxide. The answer is 2H2S plus 3O2 is equal to 2H2O plus 2SO2. Barium chloride reacts with aluminium sulfate to give aluminium chloride and a precipitate of barium sulfate. The answer is 3BaCl2 plus Al2SO4 whole 3 is equal to 2AlCl3 plus 3BaSO4. And D is potassium metal reacts with water to give potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. The answer is 2K plus 2H2O is equal to 2KOH plus H2. Okay. Question 6. Balance the following equations. A is HNO3 plus CaOH whole 2 is equal to CaNO3 whole 2 plus H2O. So, nitrate, there are two radicals of nitrate over here and one here. So, in order to balance them, we will write 2 over here. Okay. Now, let us count the number of hydrogen atoms. So, here are 2 plus 2, 4 hydrogen atoms are here. So, we will put 2 over here. Okay. So, now what is the case of oxygen? We will forget nitrate because we have already balanced this. So, number of oxygen is 2 here and 2 in this case. So, oxygen is balanced, calcium balanced. So, now this is a balanced chemical equation. 2HNO3 plus CaOH whole 2 is equal to CaNO3 whole 2 plus 2H2O. Next equation is NaOH plus H2SO4 is equal to Na2SO4 H2O. So, sulfate is balanced, hydrogen H2, here are 2 and here we have 2 plus 1, 3. Okay. And oxygen is 1, here it is 1. So, and sodium is 2. So, we will write 2 over here. So, now we have 2 atoms of sodium, here are 2 atoms of oxygen and 2 plus 2 atoms of hydrogen. So, in order to balance them, we will write 2 over here. So, now here are 4 atoms of hydrogen. So, now it is balanced, 2 atoms of oxygen is balanced, 2 atoms of sodium balanced and 1 sulfate radical. So, all are balanced now. So, the final answer is 2NaOH plus H2SO4 is equal to Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. C. NaCl plus AgNO3 is equal to AgCl plus NaNO3. This appears to be balanced because number of sodium is 1, for silver atoms same, chlorine same, nitrate same. D. BaCl2 plus H2SO4 is equal to BaSO4 plus HCl. So, number of sulfate is same, barium equal 1 and 1, chlorine here are 2 atoms, here is 1 atom, hydrogen here are 2 atoms. So, we will put 2 over here. So, now number of hydrogen and chlorine atoms is balanced. So, final equation is BaCl2 plus H2SO4 is equal to BaSO4 plus 2HCl. Question 7. Write balanced chemical equations for following reactions. A is calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide is equal to calcium carbonate plus water, and the equation is CaOH whole 2 plus CO2 is equal to CaCO3 plus H2O. Let us see whether this is balanced or not. So first of all, we'll look at number of oxygen. So oxygen is 3 plus 1, 4. In this case, here are 2 plus 2, 4 oxygen atoms are here. What about carbon? There is 1 atom of carbon, 1 atom of carbon, 1 atom of calcium, 1 atom of calcium, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of hydrogen. So this is a balanced equation. Second is zinc plus silver nitrate is equal to zinc nitrate plus silver. The equation is Zn plus AgNO3 is equal to ZnNO3 whole 2 plus Ag. So nitrate, here we have 2 nitrates and here is a single nitrate. So in order to balance this, we'll put 2 over here. Okay. Now 2 here. So now there are 2 atoms of silver on both sides, 1 atom of zinc on both sides and 2 radicals of nitrate on both sides. So this is a balanced equation. Aluminium plus copper chloride is equal to aluminium chloride plus copper. The equation is Al plus CuCl2 is equal to AlCl3 plus Cu. So now here is the difference. 3 atoms of chlorine, here 2 atoms of chlorine are there. So in order to balance this, I will put 3 over here and 2 over here. So now we have 6 atoms of chlorine on both sides. Okay. Now here are 2 atoms of aluminium. So let us put 2 over here and 3 atoms of chlorine. Copper. So 3 over here. Now 2 for aluminium, 3 for copper, and 2 multiplied 3, 6 for chlorine. So 6 for chlorine. So this equation is balanced. So final equation is 2Al plus 3 CuCl2 is equal to 2AlCl3 plus 3 Cu. And the last equation is barium chloride plus potassium sulfate is equal to barium sulfate plus potassium chloride. And equation is BaCl2 plus K2SO4 is equal to BaSO4 plus KCl. So we have same number for sulfate, 1 each, for barium 1 each. Now there are 2 atoms of chlorine and 2 atoms of potassium. So I will put 2 over here. So now even the number of chlorine and potassium atoms, they are balanced. So final equation is BaCl2 plus K2SO4 is equal to BaSO4 plus 2KCl. Question 8. Write balanced chemical equation for the following and identify the type of reaction in each case. The first question is potassium bromide plus barium iodide is equal to potassium iodide plus barium bromide. The answer is KBr plus BaI2 is equal to Ki plus BaBr2. So what is happening here, that bromine is displacing iodine from barium salt and iodine is displacing bromine from potassium salt. So double displacement is taking place. So this is an example of double displacement reaction. Next question is zinc carbonate is equal to zinc oxide plus carbon dioxide. So what is happening? Zinc carbonate is breaking down into zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. So this is an example of decomposition reaction. And the equation is ZnCO3 is equal to ZnO plus CO2. Hydrogen plus chlorine is equal to hydrogen chloride. So here hydrogen and chlorine, they are combining to produce hydrogen chloride. And the equation is H2 plus Cl2 is equal to HCl. So this is not a balanced reaction. So you need to put 2 over here in order to balance this equation. So now here are 2 atoms of hydrogen on both sides and 2 atoms of chlorine on both sides. Okay. Next question is magnesium plus hydrochloric acid is equal to magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. Answer is Mg plus HCl is equal to MgCl2 plus H2. So what is happening? Magnesium is displacing chlorine from hydrochloric acid. So this is a single displacement reaction. Okay, this is not a balanced reaction. So here are 2 atoms of chlorine and 2 atoms of hydrogen. So I will put 2 over here. So now 2 atoms of hydrogen, 2 atoms of chlorine, they are balanced, 1 atom of magnesium. So this is a balanced equation. Question 9. What does one mean by exothermic and endothermic reactions? Give examples. A reaction in which heat is generated is called exothermic reaction. For example, combustion. So whether you burn coal or LPG or natural gas, in every case combustion is taking place and heat evolves. So one example is burning of methane or biogas. So the equation is CH4 plus 2O2 is equal to CO2 plus 2H2O. This is an exothermic reaction. And when heat is absorbed in a chemical reaction, this is called endothermic reaction. The example is CaCO3. When it is strongly heated, it breaks down into CaO, that is quicklime plus carbon dioxide. Question 10. This is both are related questions, so I have put it on them on single page. Why is respiration considered an exothermic reaction? The simple answer is that in your biology lessons you have read that after respiration energy is evolved, heat is produced. So that is why this is an exothermic reaction, and this is evident from the equation. So the equation for respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 is equal to 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. So this will be CO2. Question 11. Why are decomposition reactions called the opposite of combination reactions? Write equations for these reactions. The answer is pretty simple and obvious, that in case of combination reaction, 2 or more items they combine to make one item or one molecule or one compound, whatever you say. In case of decomposition reaction, one molecule breaks down to give 2 molecules or maybe one molecule and an element or 2 substances. Okay, so let us take these examples. So in this case, when calcium oxide, that is quicklime, is dissolved in water, we get calcium hydroxide, that is slaked lime. So the equation is CaO plus H2O is equal to CaOH whole 2. So what happens? Water and quicklime, they are combining together to give slaked lime or calcium hydroxide. This is an example of decomposition reaction. So what is happening over here? That ferrous sulfate, when it is heated strongly, it gives iron oxide and oxides of sulfur. So the equation is 2FeSO4. So it's a single compound and it is giving so many things, Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3. Question 12. Write one equation each for decomposition reactions when energy is supplied in the form of heat, light or electricity. So first example is with energy from heat. Same reaction, this one is given here, FeSO4 is equal to, this is symbol for heat, Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3. In this case, energy is being supplied by electric current. So water, when it is subjected to electrolysis, it decomposes to give hydrogen and oxygen. So equation is 2H2O is equal to 2H2 plus O2. And in the third example, energy is supplied by light. So what happens when silver bromide or any halide of silver is exposed to sunlight, it decomposes to give silver and halogen. So here what is happening? 2AgBr, that is silver bromide, is exposed to sunlight, it gives 2Ag silver plus bromine, Br2. Okay, Question 13. What is the difference between displacement and double displacement reactions? Write equations for these reactions. So in single displacement reaction, what happens? One metal displaces a radical from salt of another metal. Okay. In double displacement, there is mutual exchange of radicals. So when iron nails, they are kept in copper sulfate solution, what happens? The blue color of copper sulfate fades away and it is replaced by light green color of iron sulfate. So in this case, iron is displacing copper from this salt, copper sulfate, and it is making ferrous sulfate. So the equation is CuSO4 plus Fe is equal to FeSO4 plus Cu. And this is an example of double displacement reaction. Here sodium sulfate and barium chloride, they are in sort of mutual exchange of radicals. So sulfate ion is going to barium and chloride ion is coming to sodium. So now in case of sodium sulfate, we have barium sulfate, and in place of barium chloride we have sodium chloride. The equation is Na2SO4 plus BaCl2 is equal to BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. Question number 14. In the refining of silver, the recovery of silver from silver nitrate solution involves displacement by copper metal. Write the reaction. So you have to just write the reaction. So silver nitrate is AgNO3 and here is copper. So equation is 2AgNO3 plus Cu is equal to CuNO3 whole 2 plus 2Ag. So now copper is displacing silver from silver nitrate salt, and thus silver is getting freed up. Question number 15. What do you mean by precipitation reaction? Explain by giving example. The precipitation reaction is a reaction in which one of the end products is insoluble in water. So when the product mixture is in water, you get one insoluble substance in the form of precipitate. That insoluble substance is called a precipitate, and because of that, the precipitate, the reaction is called precipitation reaction. One example is the reaction between barium chloride and aluminum sulfate. It gives the white precipitate of barium sulfate. The equation is 3BaCl2 Al2SO4 whole 3 plus, is equal to 2AlCl3 plus 3BaSO4. Question 16 is, explain oxidation and reduction in terms of gain or loss of oxygen. So here are examples. This example shows when copper is heated strongly in air, it gives copper oxide. So what is happening here? Oxygen is being added to copper. So oxidation of copper is taking place in this reaction. So we get 2Cu plus O2 is equal to 2CuO. And when this copper oxide reacts with hydrogen, what happens? Oxygen gets separated. So hydrogen is displacing. It is also an example of displacement reaction. So you get copper and hydrogen combines with oxygen to give water. So the equation is CuO plus H2 is equal to H2O plus Cu. Question 17. A shiny brown colored element X on heating in air becomes black in color. Name the element X and black colored compound formed. The key word is element. Okay. So metals, they are shiny. Okay. And copper is brown in color. The answer is copper. When copper is strongly heated in air, what happens? It gives copper oxide, and that is black in color. So the equation is 2Cu plus O2 is equal to 2CuO. Now question 18 is somehow related to part A of question 20, and question 19 is related to part B of question 20. So I have combined all these questions on a single page, 18, 19 and 20. So question 18 says, why do we apply paint on iron articles? And part A of question 20 says, explain corrosion. Okay, when an iron article is exposed to air, it reacts with atmospheric moisture and oxygen to produce compound of iron, and that appears in the form of deposition of a brown layer on iron article, and that brown layer is called rust. Okay, this process is called rusting of iron. So what happens in the long run, the iron gets converted into rust, and gradually this withers away, this becomes weak. Okay, so this process of withering away of iron article because of rusting is called corrosion. Now if anyhow we can make a layer between iron article and atmospheric moisture and air, then rusting can be prevented and corrosion can be prevented. So by painting on iron articles, what we are trying to do is, we are making a layer in between the atmosphere and iron article, so that no reaction takes place, rusting does not take place, and corrosion can be prevented. And that is why iron gates, chairs, furnitures, bridges, all of them, they are painted to prevent rusting. Question 19 is, oil and fat containing food items are flushed with nitrogen. Why? And part B of question 20 asks that what is rancidity. Okay, so when fried food, they contain oil and fat, they are exposed to air, the oil or fat in them reacts with oxygen, and oxidation leads to a compound which is bad in taste, or we call it rancid in taste. So if you will try to taste a packet of chips which has been kept for a very long time and it has been exposed to air, the chips would taste awful, and that taste is called rancid. It is somewhat bitter in taste also. Okay, in order to prevent oxidation of fried foods and so rancidity in fried foods, what happens, the packets of potato chips or other fried items, they are packed airtight, and instead of oxygen, nitrogen is filled in those packets, because nitrogen is relatively inert gas, it does not react with fried food. Okay, so this prevents oxidation of fried food and thus prevents rusting. So that's all for this lesson. All the questions are solved. Thank you.